Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 Blue emote into the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, what you can do right now is reply with those emotes if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, you can go ahead and lurk. It seems like we are small but mighty on this fine evening, which is a shame. I hope more people decide to join us as the night progresses. It often does. Some people are just fashionably late, and that's okay. I don't start right at 9 o'clock on the dot. I usually hold for a couple minutes to allow for people to stroll in. But I do hope that a few people decide they're going to come and hang out with everybody, because that would be nice. Let's see. Yeah, all right. Yeah. I'm looking at my news stuff here, and unfortunately a lot of the news is not great. Tonight's agenda, it's leg day. Leg night, but it's leg day here at the Build with Bear workshop. We're working on the Zaku Warrior live concert version master grade, and tonight's we are going to be adding some armor to our legs. We got the frames of the legs kind of done here, and now we're going to add some armor to it, and then we'll get into continuing to work on these legs, and I think finishing them. We've got, what do we have left, Pat? Well, we have the legs to work on here, all the armor for all the legs. Then we've got to move on to the waist. We got to build the waist. We got to build the side skirts. Then we got to attach everything together, the chest to the waist and legs and all that. And then we got to build the shield, and we got to put the custom stickers on the shield. So we'll do that. And then we can kind of decide if we want to build any of the other weapons, which we don't really need. We don't need to really do the gunner wizard, which is the backpack. We don't really need to do that. We can. We also have some water slide decals or decals, depending on where you are in the world, where you're from, that we don't have to include, but we can include. I believe, yeah. If we do the gunner wizard backpack thing, I think most of these pieces are included. But I don't think they even gave us the wire for it, because it's not part of the kit normally. So we might build some other stuff on here that we don't really need to build, but we can. But it is important also to put on the water slide decals or decals as well, and do all of that. But we also have the top of this kit done, looking great, looking a little blown out in that camera, but really, really nice. We'll look at it on the overhead camera as well, of course. Don't worry about it. But yes, that the auto happened there, and it got real bright for just a second. Let me just check one thing real quick. Yeah, all right. Well, let's get into it. Let's hang out, and we'll go to the overhead camera. Bada boom. There it is. Here is our current build. I'm still kind of getting set up here. This is only the third stream, right? No, second stream. The second build stream that I've done in this room, which again you can't really see, but I can give you the whole shebang here. As you can see, boom, the room that I build in. This room is not the room that I normally build in, but you as you can see, we'll get rid of that, because I like using the background remover. The background remover is pretty fantastic and doesn't really affect the quality of my streams in any way. It just makes things easier for me, because it means that I don't have to worry about the background, and I can just build and whatever. And then also there's not like a frame. I used to have a frame down here, and you lose out some of the build space, and I didn't love that. So we'll put this over here. We'll put our legs over here so we can continue to work on, or our feet I should say, so we can continue to work on the legs. And actually we're going to start by building a part that is the interior of the leg armor, which we can all do at once with E and F. E1, E2, and F. So we'll get those pieces out here. And we'll E1, E2, and actually it's just an F1 and F2. Great. So we'll get all that done right now. And I will start by saying hello and welcome. I am doing pretty okay. Lord Crashington says, "Hey Pat, had a nice birthday today with the family. Happy birthday, Lord Crashington." Let's give a yeah for that. Yeah. Happy birthday. Thank you for spending part of your birthday here with me. I'm glad you had a good time with the family. Lord Crashington wants me to the dance button. If you're unaware, what that means is I'm about to press a button and then dance around a little bit. And this button is a new song every month. And this song, well, I'll describe it once I play it, but it is new. And first time we're doing it in February. This is a Katy Perry ass beat. It's just got real Katy. You're a firework. Yeah, it's just got real Katy Perry vibes. You know what I mean when I say that. It's not derogatory in any way. It is not an accusation. It is not a dismissal. It is just stating that that's what the vibe is. That is the vibe that this song is or that particular track is going for. Again, not a slight in any way, just an observation. But yes, welcome. Happy to have you here, Lord Crashington. Past couple days, I always like to, check in with y'all, let you know what's going on. We'll talk about game stuff in the second hour. But as far as other than that, if you're not following me on Blue Sky, and please do, because I'm out there at Pat Bear doing my thing. I'm on Blue Sky. I have been posting my dinners because my folks are out of town, and so I'm doing all solo meals. And then look. Do I do solo meals when they are in town? Yeah, they go out to dinner, and I stay home and cook for myself. I do that. But I have found that once a week, twice a week on occasion, when I'm cooking for myself, I kind of do the same stuff over and over again. So one of the reasons why I'm documenting my food is, for me, it's the minorest reason is to maybe get a little bit better at photography of food. I don't think I've improved over the years that I've been doing this. But the main reason I do it is so that I can look back and go, oh, I had chicken 2 days ago. I can wait another day before I have chicken again, probably. I could probably go another day without chicken. What if I just didn't do that here? Or I go, wow, I haven't had a baked potato in a while. I should get a baked potato out. Just stuff like that. Or I'll be like, what did I even eat this week? Now, one thing I am challenging myself is that I would like once or twice a week. I don't want to get extravagant, crazy with it. I don't want to make promises to myself that I can't keep. But like once or twice a week, why don't I try to make something that I've never made before? It could be just a style of a dish. It could be using ingredients that I've ever done. It could be a completely new recipe. So this week I've already done it once. I did it yesterday, and the goal is that I'm also doing it tomorrow as well. Yesterday I had the opportunity to have a lovely dish of completely forgot the name of drumstick for a second there. I had drumsticks. So before my folks left, they did a bunch of grocery shopping for me, and I asked for chicken thighs. Because chicken thighs, you just whack in an oven. I just roast them. I know how I like them. Paprika, olive oil, or just, canola oil, but often olive oil. Paprika, garlic, salt, and, regular or garlic powder, salt, maybe onion powder a little bit. Like, I know what I like with it. Easy, fast, cooks up, no problem. I got drumsticks instead of chicken thighs, and I was like, shit. I mean, I could just do the same, but with drumsticks, you're not really getting the same amount of fat. You're not cooking it in the fat. You're not getting the full skin. A lot of times drumsticks don't have all of the skin on it. You're not getting that flap you get with the thigh. And it's like, it's just not the same. So I was like, okay, chicken drumstick recipes. Let me just see what's out there and if there's anything out there that I like. Turns out there was one thing that I wanted. And so I made a soy, garlic, and honey marinade for these drumsticks, and then just roasted them for an hour at 400 degrees, and had a baked potato and veggies, and it was really fucking good. It was so goddamn good. I'm so happy I chose to do that. Now, if I did it again, I would add more honey because it didn't really get that, like, the honey. It was on there as like more like I said, more like a marinade than a glaze, and it didn't get that kind of like crispy honey crunch kind of a thing. It didn't get that, and I was hoping that it would get that, so I was a little disappointed in that. But it tasted really good, and then my toaster oven smelled like garlic and soy till like I used it again. It lingered, and it was a good linger. So that was a new recipe that I tried out. I think that went well. Now today I just did leftovers. I had made nachos for the Royal Rumble because I was like, I want to make homemade nachos, but that's a pound of ground beef, and I didn't want to eat a whole pound of ground beef on chips. Also, the chips didn't last, so I was like, oh, I'm going to save some of this in the freezer, and then I'll just defrost it and make tacos because I have some like not super large tortillas, and I'll just make soft shell tacos, which turned out great. Made those tonight. Real easy, real simple. My solution for soft shell, tortillas, if you want to make those tacos and you got to heat them up, because maybe you want your cheese melted. Not everybody wants their cheese melted. They just want to melt in there. But if you're doing that, you toast them. If you've got a gas oven, you can just do them on the coils, or you can just do them in a pan. I just put up a toaster oven on the rack and do it like that for a little while. And I could have toasted them a little longer, but I didn't. And then I usually throw it in the microwave just to heat everything up. My secret for doing homemade tacos and, like soft shell tacos that you don't want to roll them up like a fajita or a burrito or something. If you just want them, in the shape, is just to put toothpicks in there. Just put some toothpicks in there to kind of keep its shape while you microwave it. Whatever. And then take the toothpicks out so you don't bite into the toothpicks. So I did that, and that worked out pretty good. Just did tacos and a salad. Could I have done a taco salad today? 100%. I could have done it as a taco salad. I didn't. I just did a salad and tacos because I wanted those tortillas. Now tomorrow is going to be my second thing I've never done before, recipe I've never worked on before. I am doing a slow cooker beef, which I've certainly used the slow cooker before, the crock pot beef. But I am doing it in a Chinese style, a Chinese American style. I am going to make the kind of beef that you would have with beef and broccoli, or like pepper steak, that kind of thing. I have some chuck that is stew meat, but I don't feel like making stew because it's gotten warm around here, and I don't need to make a hearty stew. I could make a fucking hearty stew if I want to. If I want to make a stew, I'm going to make a stew, but I don't want to. I want to make beef, the kind of beef you would have in a beef and broccoli, but I don't want to put broccoli in it because I don't like it. So like a pepper steak beef. So I'm going to do that in the slow cooker. I have the recipe. I have more beef broth than I need, so I'm going to make the rest of the beef broth. I'm going to make some point, probably next week, I'm going to make a gravy with the leftover beef broth for something. I'll have mashed potatoes and gravy with something on there, and I'll have a beef broth for that. Or beef gravy, I should say. But I want to make a homemade gravy because I also have... Ooh, you know what? I just realized. I'm going to make a meatloaf next week. And so that can be one of my things I haven't done before because I've never made my own gravy before. Not from drippings. I've never done it. But I am going to make a gravy out of this leftover beef broth. I'll make a gravy, and then that'll go on mashed potatoes and on the meatloaf. Am I more of a ketchup guy for my meatloaf, or ketchup and mayonnaise on a sandwich? Of course I am. You don't know that, but that is true. But I do like mashed potatoes with meatloaf and a gravy. So I'll have a homemade gravy that I'm going to make next week, and that just occurs to me. I could do that with the meatloaf because I haven't made a meatloaf yet, and I want to. I have everything for it. I do want to use up an onion. Now, the thing I'm making tomorrow, I got a good cheat for it. An unbelievable cheat. They might not have it at your grocery store. They probably do. You can just get a bag of already diced, frozen onions and peppers. Like bell peppers and onions already diced and or sliced, depending on how you want it, in a bag, and then you just defrost whatever you need from it. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to do white rice. I was thinking about doing fried rice, but I think I'm just going to do regular white rice. This slow cooker beef, and we also I'll have the juice from it on, and put that on. Like I said, white rice and the peppers. I'll cook up a bunch of peppers, and I might throw in another vegetable besides that. I might do peppers, onions, and I have peas, so I might want to eat up those peas, but I might just wait on that. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I think the peppers and the onion is all I really need on there. Lord Crashton says, I found out somebody just sells hard-boiled eggs in bags packed in pairs, which is great for adding to salads. Ooh, that is a nice pro tip there. Hey, Beifu, welcome. I would say that I would probably do my own hard-boiled eggs because I'm pretty good at it. But also, I'll let you know that I just buy liquid eggs. I just buy grocery store liquid eggs when I'm by myself. Because they are very fast and very easy. Eggs are fucking expensive, as you are aware. But also, it's I don't know. I just found that I like the convenience of an egg beater or the local equivalent of. So I usually just get that. And also for cooking, it's just, there are dishes that having a regular egg makes the product better, but for convenience, I just do liquid eggs for a lot of that. So I did have some eggs left over when my folks left and I did make a breakfast sandwich for lunch yesterday on a bagel with 2 eggs over easy, and it was really fucking good with American cheese and sausage, breakfast sausage. And that was very fucking good. One other thing I made this week, but I've made it before, so it doesn't count on my new dishes. My new dishes, like I said, I'm trying to do 1 to 2 a week. So it doesn't count for that. But last weekend, I did make mac and cheese, stovetop mac and cheese. It is quote unquote better than Kraft. It's not better than Kraft because Kraft tastes incredible, but it's probably better for me than Kraft. So you know what I mean when I say that. Do I even fucking believe it? I kind of do. But anyway, I made my own mac and cheese because I had milk that was gonna go bad. When was it gonna go bad? Sometime in the future. I really only had enough to do that. And I didn't have any plans for it. So I was like, well, let me make mac and cheese. I've got half a box of macaroni noodles, so I'll just make a bunch of it. I had it for dinner, and then also I have a bunch in the freezer now, and so I can just defrost it in 2 sections. I split it up into 2, and then that can be dinner and a snack, or dinner and lunch the next day, that kind of thing. Same thing with the drumsticks that I made yesterday. The leftover drumstick meat was my lunch today because I had it left over, and I was like, this is going to go and be my sandwich. And guess what? Turned out great. I still have some taco meat left over, some ground beef left over from tonight, and that's going to be my lunch tomorrow. I took out another tortilla that's been in the freezer because I took the bag of tortillas and I broke them up into a bunch of different Ziplocs and put them in the freezer. And right now, they haven't been in there long enough to stick together, but I separated all of them before I put them in. And then all you need is a butter knife to kind of separate them if they've been in there too long, but they haven't been in there too long for it to be a problem. Eventually, it probably will be annoying, but right now it is not annoying. Check out this goddamn beautiful purple. There's not a lot of purple in this kit. but when I get to put the purple pieces on, I'm happy about it. So yeah, cooking for myself going pretty good. I'll say that. I would say that I am fairly happy with how I have been doing in that department, in the cooking department. I did get groceries delivered today because I was running low on some things. I was running low on my flavored waters, the Mio, the flavored water stuff. You just add to a glass of water, a little squirt, just to make drinking water less boring. I was running out of that. I was running low on soda, which I am trying to cut off back on. And there were just like a bunch of things that Beifu, I see your question and I will answer that. I want to finish my thought, but I will come to that. Because it is off topic, but I also don't mind answering it. I'm just going to finish my thought, which is, yeah, so let me find this piece. I ordered a bunch of stuff, got it delivered, and I forgot to get butter. And so I am running low on butter. And instead of ordering it on its own or just figuring out other stuff that I need, I am going to go for a long walk, probably on Saturday, because I have enough butter right now to get me through until Saturday when I want it for a baked potato. Hey, Lashbrook. Because I want a baked potato on Saturday. So the local grocery store is within walking distance for me. It is within walking distance. It's an annoying walk because there's one street that is very busy and there are no sidewalks in this neighborhood. So there is one street that I have to cross that is like a 4-lane. And there are people that turn left and right on both of these, and it's not great. Once you get past that, it's fine. So I am probably going to walk on Saturday to get like a couple things. I'll probably get more soda just because I always going to want to have some. I'm trying to cut back on that, but I also know that I like it with meals. So I want to get that. No problem, Lashbrook. Totally okay. So yeah, I kind of want to get some stuff on Saturday and go for a nice long walk. It'll be good for me. Get out of the house, go and get a few things, because I am sure that, oh yes, besides butter, I am low on Pam, the cooking spray, and I do use that a lot. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to get Pam, or if I'm going to go there, I'll get Pam, and I'll see if there's anything else I need. Maybe I also need another cucumber for salad stuff. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm not afraid that I won't have things to buy and it'll be good. And like I said, there's one intersection I don't like. Your cooking journey has been inspiring. I need to learn how to cook. So like I said, at the beginning of all of this, it's just cooking for me was a necessity because I moved out on my own and had to cook meals. And I used to be terrible. I used to eat the same thing for lunch. I would get deli meat and then just make sandwiches until I ran out of deli meats. And then I'd be like, okay, well, I have eggs. Like, I would never make enough. I would never make extra. I would make enough pasta for one person for dinner. Why wouldn't I just make some extra and have that for lunch the next day? I was going to have sauce. I would have enough sauce so I could have extra pasta. I could cook up, instead of one Italian sausage, I could have an Italian sausage and a half and then have another one, or cook it up and the next day have that sausage that I already cooked already and reheat it with peppers and onions. Why wouldn't I do that? I never thought about that stuff. Like, oh yeah, you could have extra, Pat, because you like the thing you're making. And it won't take much time to make a little bit more. So I've gotten better about it. And like I said, my goal this time around is to try some recipes I haven't tried before, at least something, because I don't want to get bored and I don't want to eat the same things every day. Maybe it says I eat the same thing for lunch and dinner, PB&J and chips every day. Yeah, so like variety is the spice of life. Now there are some people that are utilitarian when it comes to food. food is not about enjoying food, is not about savoring food, is not about taking that time to have a good time with it. It is about getting the nutrition you need and then getting it over with. And I understand that. I don't agree with it, but I do understand it. I do understand where those people are coming from, and I get it. Yes, being routine based, totally understand. Like, there is I had a friend who would go to a diner that was by his apartment, and that was lunch every day. Every day was lunch. He would go to the apartment, he would get the same thing at that diner every day because his dinner was served to him at work and he had no control over that, but he had control over what he had for lunch. And I totally understood it. It's not my way of living, but it was totally his way of living. And so, like, yeah, all right, that's how you do you. Great. Enjoy that. I get it. Yes. Yeah. Totally understand that. You have roommates, so you don't. Yeah. So your area of the kitchen, so you got to kind of coexist, cohabitate. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Comfort foods and utilitarian meals aren't always the best for you. You want to have a wide variety of things. You want to get into a wide variety of different kinds of foods. And I understand that. Like, I would say this, perhaps, and you can start small, Taco Tuesday. Like, it doesn't have to be that, right? Taco Tuesday, right? It doesn't have to be Taco Tuesday. It can be Pizza Fridays. Oh man, it's like you're back in school and it's Pizza Friday. Like, something small like that, right? Whatever it is, whatever it can be, you just make that your routine. On this day, you have this thing. You starting small, right? Like, well, here's the thing. Every Thursday, I have a salad. I make a tuna fish, tuna fish and mayo, and I put that with the salad with a dressing I like on the side, and that's what I do every Thursday. And you're just like, yeah, that's what you do every Thursday. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, that sounds good, but every Thursday I have this. And that becomes a routine, and you just convince yourself that's part of your routine. I am speaking from some experience on this. But yeah, you just tell your brain that's what you've been doing forever. And your brain's just like, that comforts me. I like that. Like, yeah, like I said, just start something small. Because maybe you can't say meal prep for the week. Meal prep is great, but maybe that's not for you. Or maybe that's not for you yet. Because instead, you're just going to be like, oh, I didn't take it out of the freezer. I forgot that every night I have to take a meat that I have frozen out so I can cook it the next day. Or I have to take a meal out to let it defrost. Oh, I made breakfast for the whole week and it's all in the freezer, but I keep forgetting I need to take it out at night. Like, I get that. I understand that. But if you're just like, yeah, totally. But if you're like, I don't know, I know that every Wednesday I make pasta because, and I have the same meat, and I have the same sauce that I buy, the same pasta that I eat, and I don't change it because I like spaghetti, and I like throwing ground hamburger in with my pasta sauce, and I do that. I buy a bag of meatballs, and I know that on Tuesday, I take those meatballs out to defrost them because I just get a bag of frozen meatballs. On Tuesday, I take 2 meatballs out to defrost them. And then on Wednesday, I have meatballs and spaghetti. And that's all. That's what you're saying? That's your Wednesday? There you go. There you go. That seems like a thing you could do. It's hopefully approachable. It's hopefully something you can take a look at and go, okay. We have been talking about food for like a half an hour, and I am not against that. We are going to transition to talk about a couple other things. I will just say, Beifu did ask a question about The Sims, and I will say that I never played Sims 1. I played a lot of Sims 2. I got gifted I believe it was on CDs. It's probably not on DVD at that point, but I got a PC copy of Sims 2. I got gifted a copy of Sims 2, and I played a lot of The Sims 2. I would do a lot of like I didn't do a lot of like, oh, I'm naming these are after all the people I know or something like that. But I did do quite a bit of like, oh, I've got this crew. I like their names. Here's the characters I like. Let's see them interact with each other and try to like have some fun. I was never great at having them have fulfilling lives, but I was pretty okay at having them have interesting times, I guess. I did enjoy it. It was never like I was much more of the kind of similar as I liked were like city builders more than like I liked SimCity more than The Sims myself. But I totally understand why it was a lot of people's kind of games, especially like folks that wanted to be creative, that wanted to be builders, that wanted to, you know, design everything or all of that. I just never super got into it. I do like character creators. I've always enjoyed a good character creator, so I did like that kind of a thing. But yeah, it was just never a thing that I was super duper ultra into. But I did appreciate it. I do appreciate those kinds of games and the people that like them. But yeah, I do like that. It's one of those things where like I don't mind making a character, but I don't want to make like 10 characters. You know what? My character can have a horse ranch now. Nice. That's fun. But yeah, I just don't want to make like a ton of people. But I will make a person. That kind of a thing. This is kind of how I felt about it. We've got some news stuff to talk about, some gaming news. Real quick, video game stuff, but it's an anime. I have not been able to find out if this is a special or an ongoing series or a movie, but there is something that's going to be posted to Pokemon's official YouTube channel on February 27th, which is Pokemon Day. And on the 27th, probably Japanese time, there will be there's a new anime titled the American Dragonite and the Mailman, about a mail carrier who is helping people, who flies on a Dragonite. And does that Dragonite have a mail carrier hat? Yes, it fucking does. So this is an ONA. Let me see if I can find any more information. It appears to just be one episode, so it might be a pilot. It is going to be on their YouTube. I am sure that it will get a fan sub if it does not have official subs. But it looks cute. It looks very cute and fun, and I love the look of that Dragonite. I think the idea of Dragonite as a mail carrier is very cute, so I'm pro that. Let's see. I guess we should talk about Icon. That's ICON. The what is it called? The Interactive Innovation Conference, which is definitely a fucking backronym. They were like, let's call it Icon. We'll throw another I in there. What could we put in that? That's what it feels like to me. It feels like the ESA did a backronym. They wanted to call it Icon. And it is, as they say it, essential convening for change makers across industries, which sounds stupid. Sorry. But that's you know, that's hoity-toity press release. I will say a bunch of names of game developers you would want at one of these things have said, or publishers and game makers, and also game manufacturers and whatever. Yes, the Iconics will be hosting it. Indeed, of course. It's going to be in Las Vegas in April 27th through 30th in 2026. So not this year, not this April. Next April, there will be a big ass thing. The ESA is doing they're not bringing back E3. They're just doing this. Let's see. The list of attendees include, in alphabetical order, Amazon Games, Disney, EA, Epic, Microsoft, Nintendo of America. Specifically says Nintendo of America, but we knew it's Nintendo. Sony Interactive Entertainment, Square Enix, Take-Two Interactive, Ubisoft, and Warner Brothers Games. Lord Crash says, it seems like a GDC or DICE. I think that it is a attempt to get influencers to come to Vegas. I think that it is going to be a trade show focusing on influencers. That is my guess. Because they don't ever, in any of their statements, they made publishers, but they don't mention like game developers coming. This is not a trade show. They're doing a game showcase. Change makers across industries is the thing that told me, oh, they want influencers to come out to this thing and like the thing that they made. That is my guess. So it's not because it's not a GDC or DICE that is focused on people making things, coming in and pitching their games and all that. It very much seems like, no, this is a replacement for E3, but like only not a trade show part, not the like go for jobs and to pitch games, the like get people psyched about what we're making kind of a thing. Basically a CES, which is what E3 popped out of. But I mean, game developer also thinks that it's going to be different. With Icon, we are creating a space for visionaries across industries to come together, connect, and reimagine what's possible through interactive entertainment. It will allow audience members on an invite-only basis, so they are not doing general tickets. So they are not trying to do the last version of E3 that they tried to do, which was E3 and PAX at the same time, or like Gamescom, really, more than trying to add in that. But they were trying to be Gamescom because they thought that might work out, and then they realized that wasn't going to work out, and they were like, actually, goodbye. Which I don't think was wrong, but yeah. Advancing innovation across culture, business, and human connection. It sounds terrible. Yeah. Align your brand with a rapid growing industry, as total global revenue is projected to surpass $300 billion mark in 2026. I hate all of it. I hate looking at this website. I don't want to look at this website anymore. Good luck, ESA. I guess good luck. I don't know. I'm sure some people are psyched about it because they miss E3 and they would like there to be an E3, and Summer Game Fest doesn't do it for them. And I get that, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, Summer Game Fest is just going to keep building and growing and all that. And see what they need to do. So the fact that this is in April means... Oh, also, the fact that it's in April means that there will be a time where it happens the same weekend as PAX East, because the PAX people never have a good say about that one place. They don't get to claim. If you've ever wondered why PAX East is different weekends, it's because that venue, the only venue to do it in Boston, they'd have to move out of Boston. It's not about, oh, you have this weekend and you get first dibs on this weekend. It's, they go in order. So whoever they've had a contract with before, they get in order of how old the contracts have been, or since the first one. That's in order. They get to decide the weekend. So there are a bunch of conferences that don't want to be the same weekend every year or around the same weekend every year. They just want to do whatever. So that's why it's always a different fucking weekend, is because they came in late enough that they don't get to pick. That by the time it comes around, they're not able to pick the same weekend they had the previous year. They would love it. Ooh, oh God, Reed Pop would fucking love it if they got to pick what goddamn weekend they had their fucking show and have it be the same goddamn weekend. They would love that. This is not possible, unfortunately. The way things work, because they just have to outlive other companies, basically, and productions. Let's see. Let's see. Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater. The date was leaked. We know the date that it's coming out. And how do we know that, Pat? Well, we know it's August 28th, which was not revealed by Konami because Sony put up a trailer too early. They put up a trailer when they weren't supposed to. So on the PS5, you could watch a trailer for that, which included the release date, which is hilarious. Considering everything I hear about how annoying the area is, do you think they ever move PAX East out of Boston? Lashbrook, I'm certain that another East Coast city could convince them to move. One of the reasons they don't is because Boston is expensive, but it's close to a train station and an airport are all close to the convention center. And it's a good-sized convention center, which they have a rapport with, right? So you don't have to because they've only done PAX East in 2 places. They did in the small convention center, which was bad, and then they moved into the bigger convention center, which was good. But they wanted to be on the East Coast because they have a West Coast and an East Coast one. There was always talk about doing another Central. That never came out. They do have Unplugged in Philadelphia, but Philly does not have the facilities for a convention the size of PAX East. So they would have to do what they do in Seattle, which is a bunch of locations, which has so many more complications and so many more problems. So the ideal would be a city that wants them, which Boston does want them, just not enough to give them the same weekend. A city that wants them, so a deal on the space, the same weekends if they can get that. And also, it has to be a city with major transportation because people are going to fly and drive and take a train to go there. And there are only so many cities in the East Coast of America that can do all that. West Coast, even harder. But they got a West Coast location. They're going to keep doing it in Seattle. So I don't know. I don't know because, like I said, it is annoying, but it's not more annoying than Pittsburgh, which doesn't have the infrastructure for it. Or New York, which is out of the question. New York is just... Because if you want to do it in New York, at the scale of PAX, is just doing the bottom floor at the Javits Center. But that's also a nightmare. Every part of that is a nightmare. Doing it in New York, so that's out of the question. So then you're doing Atlanta, but Atlanta has its own big conventions, and that's also its own set of challenges. And then I don't know where else you go. So it's just I don't know. They're probably going to just stay in Boston until Boston doesn't want them anymore. It makes it really hard for them to do it in Boston. Just kind of how it is. It's tough. I have always heard that there was going to be another mid-coast, middle of the country PAX, and then Unplugged happened instead of that. And then also there's a pandemic. So I don't know if that'll ever actually happen. They'll do a third regular video game PAX. My gut has always been that the big people and names, both companies and individuals, do not want to do 3 PAXs a year. And so that's probably why there isn't a third PAX. They really can't sustain it. There's interest in audience for it. But I could see them doing a second Unplugged, a West Coast Unplugged. I could definitely see a West Coast or a middle of the country Unplugged. And then it's when do you do that? When do you add that in the schedule? And are you competing with Gen Con if you do that? So maybe you need to be on the West Coast, and you could just deal with that and be, pick a city, go for it. I mean, honestly, they should do a unplugged in the Southern California, probably, but I don't think they will. But they could do another unplugged. I feel like that would be the next big thing for PAX would be to do another unplugged, because it is a success and it is growing. So they could do another one of those. Metal Gear Solid 3 is coming out August 28th, and you have Sony to blame, and that's it. I just thought that was kind of funny. The store page went up, which it shouldn't have, apparently. It will be a PS5 Pro Enhanced game. Let's see. And people assume that maybe it was going to be in the state of play that is happening towards the end of February. But it did seem to be an error. Let's see. Here's a fun bit of business. What happens? What do you do when a game is in early access and then it doesn't get updated for a really long time? Like, what do you do when you look at it and you go, oh, this game seems neat, and like the community posts are all like, hey, when are we getting another update for this or whatever? And you're like, oh, maybe you didn't even see that. Maybe you saw a game that looked cool and you didn't see when the last update was. You were just like, oh yeah, I want to, you know what? I've been meaning to get into some more early access stuff. Like, I'll go for it. And then you find out it's not being supported. Well, there's no great solution for it, but there is something that that Steam is going to start doing, which I do think is kind of neat. So that's why I brought it up. Add a notification and delist it. Well, Dirty, like, if they're giving you notifications about updates that are coming and they just haven't updated it, that's different than it being abandoned. So Valve has a new tool to kind of reduce some stuff, which is warnings. Basically, you go to a page and it will tell you when the last update was in a pop-up. So you can see that right away before you spend any money. You can just see, Steam would add Dirty. Steam is adding a notification, and the notification can say it's been a week since the last update, or it can be it's been 2 years since the last update. So I think that's great for every game that is in early access. So you can just see before one of the first things you see when you're looking at a page because you heard about it or you're clicking around is just going like, hey, it's been a week, it's been a week and a half since the last update on this game. And I think that's just good information generally. Because it's just going to give it to you front and center. Revised warning appears inside a big blue early access box. It also, the string of orange text now indicates how many months or years it's been since the last update went live. So it'll be like less than a month or more than that. It's still not exactly clear what updates are substantial enough to reset the counter and how long it takes between update for it to appear. Let's see. So like Project Zomboid, right? Project Zomboid has been in early access on Steam for over 10 years. But it constantly has updates. So you're not getting, it had an update in January of this year. So like, yeah, that's the example they give, right? So that's not going to have a warning about how long it's been since the last update. It's just been in early access for 10 years. And that's another conversation to have, like, when are you fucking done with this game? But that's a different conversation than that. I understand, Dirty, that you think that Steam should have a phase 2 that delists it. And I don't agree. Because game development is hard. And yes, if a game has not had an update in 2 years, it's probably done. But if you want to play that early access game, if you know the game has not been updated in 2 years, but you still want to pay for it and check it out, I think that's okay. I don't think that's wrong to be like, yeah, I know, but like, I don't know, my friends are playing this thing, and so I want to check it out. Like, I don't know. To me, I'm not opposed to that if you have the information. I think it's important to get the information to make a choice on that thing. And so I do think a pop-up letting you know how long it's been since the last update is reasonable. I think that's cool. New warning seems geared to indicating when a game is effectively abandoned. But yeah. I was listening to a part today where there was one early access game that hadn't been updated in so long that there are kids that would have going to middle school that were born at the same time it was last updated. Yeah. Yes, Lord Crashington. There is the game developer who was like, hey, I'm pausing no updates for early access until I get out of prison, was the story. And it was just like, yeah, I'm sure they would. You'll be able to keep track of the last time that game got an update. Let's see. Steam would have... okay, yeah, so... Yeah, there is a game that Unsung Heroes. It's been abandoned has a label indicating it's been abandoned for 4 years now. The last update was over 4 years ago. Prior to this update, Steam users would have to click through the review section to read other users mentioning whether a project was still in development or not. So I understand they're not necessarily going far enough for some folks. Totally get that. For me, I do think that's like having that information is way better than what it was. I think that I think they should have implemented this earlier than they have now. I think some people hang on to feeling burned by certain early access games. A good example is Heroes and Generals. Like, yeah, I have definitely, gotten a few games that development slowed down. I mean, we talked about it on Tuesday. We'll talk more about that later, the game itself. But, I was playing a game that was Kickstarted, and I went and looked to see about the projects that I backed that never came out. And there are 2 video games I don't ever expect to play. Zoe Quinn's game, I don't ever expect to play that within fucking completely understandable reasoning. Scope changed, life changed. I get it. Same thing with Butt Sniffing Pugs. Butt Sniffing Pugs was a fun, experimental, weird controller game that they did a Kickstarter for, and then, life got in the way of it. Plans changed, they changed, family stuff changed, and totally understand why. Updates basically stopped with that, and for some people, that is a betrayal of trust, and they will curse those developers for the rest of their lives. For me, it's just like, yeah, I mean, my percentage of things that I paid money to that actually came out is pretty high for Kickstarter, but like, once you put that money in, it's not a pre-order. You want it to be a pre-order. You wish it was a pre-order. It's not a pre-order. It's just weird shit that you're just putting some stuff out in the world and you hope it fucking works out. But it doesn't always. I think example why patience with devs is important is War Tales. It was in early access for quite a while, but then they got funding, finished it, released it. Now it is DLC. Nice, yeah. But I also understand that if you're like, I would like the game to come out because I bought the game and all that. I totally understand that. Information from developers, I think, is always nice. Some developers are never going to talk about, delays, and I think that's a shame. It was interesting. There was a time where I kickstarted a game, and one of the 3 boats, this was a tabletop game, one of the 3 boats that you could hire from China to transport your games by ship, which is the only way to do it at the scale that people were doing, right? One of the boats fucking was decommissioned. And so then there were 2 boats that did all of any indie tabletop person. And the situation happened is they were expecting them. They were going to be able to ship them out. They had a company doing all that. It was all taken care of. And some of the ones that were shipping, they were going to sell at Gen Con because their game came out. They had the Gen Con booth. And then this shipping issue happened. So they were like, well, we can't give up this Gen Con table. We need something to sell at Gen Con. Because they're going to get reviewed there. They're going to get interviewed there. They're going to sell a bunch of copies. They're going to get that second wave going. They can do a second printing, perhaps, with enough buzz. They can't just have a table for signups. But they don't have the product in hand to mail out to people. So they instead, at would end up being certainly far less of a profit, mailed out a bunch of copies. So they had something to sell there. Understanding that they were going to lose customers, future customers, right, for their next project. Because they had the game was done, but they were going to sell it to some people before people who paid for it as a Kickstarter got their product. And they said, if you're going to be at Gen Con, you can email this email address and we will hand you your copy over because we'll make sure that we have some for people and then take it off and not mail it to you later. And in fact, they had a few copies at PAX West before Gen Con when I was like, yeah, I'm one of the people that is waiting on it. And they were like, do you want a copy now? But I had ordered the fancy box edition, which they didn't have because that was Kickstarter only. And I was like, no, I want my fancy box. I'll wait. But I did say, I know that there are people out there that are never going to accept a boat got decommissioned, so we don't have the product in time. Because to them, you should just not have a booth at Gen Con. And I understand that is not going to fucking happen. But there was no good solution for that. They just had to accept the fact that they were going to lose some customers who would have stuck with them through many other problems, including delays. But like, hey, what the fuck? Like, there was a game. This is still, even in 2014, fucking ridiculous. There was a game that I backed of cards to play with for Mafia or werewolf cards, right? In Werewolf, you can just do scraps of paper with words written on it, right? But these are some nice cards you can play with, right? Well, they had like a couple pieces of art, but they didn't do all the art until the Kickstarter started to succeed, because then they could have the money to hire the artist and all that. Basically, they took money out of savings to hire the artist while the game was still being kickstarted, because it hit enough thresholds they could pay for all the art and get all the cards done ahead of time. As new art started coming out, it became very clear that these fucking dudes didn't think about how all of the art was white people. There was zero diversity. Mostly men, a couple women, but mostly men. And all very similar white dudes were in it. And it was like, hey, what if it wasn't that? And they were like, shit, oh, okay. By the time they fucking got back with their artist and made a bunch of changes, they were like, the cards are going to be delayed. The game's going to come out later because we fucked up. And they did admit that they fucked up. But it was one of those fuck ups where you're like, nobody caught this shit? Nobody caught this. Like, oh no, no one caught this. I will say that situation led to a friend of mine, Maya, getting hired to work for a bunch of tabletop people as social media and community for their Kickstarters, but also doubled as having someone on the payroll that just looked at it and would be like, hey, what's up? This thing is very heteronormative. Do you want that to be the case? Or did you not think about it because you can still think of yourself as a default? So Maya became a person that did a lot of that for people. As like, hey, I did a little bit of that. There was a game that had a lot of quotes from Randy Pitchford because Randy really liked the game. And I said, hey, I'm not saying all of your target demographic hates fucking Randy Pitchford, but a lot of your demographic hates Randy Pitchford. And maybe you don't need so many quotes from Randy Pitchford. If you like the guy, that's weird, but okay. I'm just letting you know that maybe a bunch of quotes from Randy Pitchford will make people less interested in your game. And I got told, I got sent an email that said from somebody on there. I never got a response from the person I talked to about that, but another person sent me a message saying, hey, Pat, just wanted to let you know that you settled a long and heated argument with us. Thanks for having our back on this one. And I did not know I had it with someone's back. I was letting them know, hey, I don't care if your game about magic that you asked a bunch of magicians to talk about your game, but Randy's a fucking weirdo that a lot of people don't like at all. So maybe you don't need so many Randy Pitchford. Maybe your first quote shouldn't be for Randy Pitchford. But apparently I was backing someone up in that argument. But anyway, don't let Randy talk about thumb drives or the Magic Castle. Yeah, just in general, like, hey, what if you didn't? Hey, what if you didn't? Let's see. Is there anything else we need to say? I guess we're just going to... I got to take a pause for the cause here. But on Saturday, we'll do the big roundup of game developers that have laid people off. And one head of a division of a company that got fired. It seems like one dude in all of this. One guy in charge of a division that had a bad response to the game that came out actually saw consequences. It's fucking wild. But we got to talk about a bunch of layoffs and stuff, and we'll do that all on Saturday. And my apologies in advance for Saturday. It's a bummer, but it is a reality that we will talk about again on Saturday and not tonight. So my apologies that I did not get to talk about that. And I'm sure that there will be at least one more that happens tomorrow. Well, have a good night. Thanks for being here. Always appreciate it. But yeah, we're gonna take a pause for the cause. If you were unaware of what this segment is, this is my opportunity to talk to you, the viewer, about ways that you can support me and what I do here. That's what it is. If you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money, Visa, or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, link with your Twitch, you get that token. You can use that token for anybody. If you want to use it for me, I'd be fucking psyched about it. I would be like, oh, cool. Thank you. I would say that out loud, just like I did there. There are a variety of ways to support. This is the easiest way because you're already here on Twitch. If you want to gift a sub to community, you want to be the first person this month to gift a sub, you could do that. If you want to be the top of the cheerleader board and you want to give some bits, that would be great. Would love that. You don't have to, but you could. And that's all the ways to do it through Twitch to support me financially. Again, optional. Hey, hit the follow button if you haven't already. I build model kits and Lego sets. It's nice. We talk about shit. I read every message on chat and I respond to almost all of them. Let's see. Other ways to support me financially. Hey, I got a Patreon, patreon.com/Pat Baer. Over on my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. If you are in the $3, $5, or $10 tier, there is a poll that you could go vote in to decide what I do next Tuesday. The second Tuesday of every month is Patreon's Choice. And I have I have 2 video games and like, it's not a video game, but another thing that I could do. So I got 3 options, and only 2 people have voted so far. It'll take a couple days, but people will vote. But if you want to vote, you could on what I do on next Tuesday, because right now it's tied, and I would love a few more people. So if you're a $3, $5, or $10 patron, go over there and get your vote on. Make your voice heard for me, because that would be great. I would love that over on the Patreon. But yeah, see if there's a tier that's right for you. Over on my YouTube channel, you could, of course, subscribe, youtube.com/Pat Baer. Subscribing is free on YouTube, of course. If you wanted to become a member for just $2 a month, you can become a member, and then you get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. This particular week, I was late on it. It was supposed to go out on Tuesday, and it didn't, and I apologize. That's just unfortunately what happened. But in the future, I'm gonna nail it. I've only fucked up, I think, like twice in that particular way. So I will do my damnedest to never fuck up again. But anyway, you generally get them early. And so you can do that. Subscribe for free, become a member for $2 a month, get a video a little early. There are other ways to support me, which is if you just want to do a donation, because those are monthly ways. If you just like once in a while, you just want to chip in to help me out, well, I've got a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you can do that. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and money taken out of that fund buys model kits. I just got a Lego set that I will be building on the day before Valentine's Day. So next week, next Thursday on the 13th, because the Valentine's Day is the 14th. Right? Yeah, Valentine's Day is the 14th. Right? Yeah. Yeah, Valentine's Day is the 14th. So on the 13th, so a week from today, I've got a fun Lego set that I'm going to be building. But I have a bunch of other stuff in my backlog I'd be happy to work on. We'll need something to do once this is done. We're still working on it. We're still working on the legs here, but we're getting closer and closer to finishing up. I think we're going to finish this on Saturday, because on Saturday I'll be working on the shield and then the water slide decal. So I'll probably do a poll to see what I work on next for next Monday. But hey, if you want to decide what I work on next and not have it be something from my backlog, well, you could do that. If you go to my Amazon wish list, you could buy something off my wish list. It'll come to me in the mail, of course, and I will prioritize the thing that you purchased. It'll jump the queue, become the next thing I build, and it'll get its own dedicated YouTube video about the thing you purchased, called a mailbag video. I've got Lego sets, I got model kits, I have inexpensive kits, I have expensive kits, all kinds of different things and things on this wish list. I added some Lego pretty recently. They're all pretty cool looking sets. Some new stuff. Recently I added, last month I added a Porsche, a Lego Porsche to the wish list that seemed cool. Also, this week I added the Gundam EX, which is from Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. That's right, the Netflix series has its own mobile suit. It is the Gundam EX RFV. It is a cool looking Gundam. And I would be happy to build that if you purchased it off my wish list. At some point, I might do it myself, but I don't know. But I got inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that go on sale all the time, kits that never seem to fucking go on sale. And just go up in value and price, not value, price. But yeah, if there's something there you'd like to see me put together, you can buy that. Also, there is some gear, because it's always nice to have some gear options. And yeah, see if there's something there you'd like to see me put together, and you could pick that up, and then I will build it on stream. And again, it'll jump the queue, because that's the least I could do, is to build the thing you paid for before I build the things that I paid for. If you want to support me and you don't want to go through Amazon, I totally get it. I have a throne wish list. If there's something there you'd like to see me build, or some, I don't know, gift cards, you just want me to be able to buy pizza, you could do that. Also, USA Gundam Store, the most convoluted way to support me financially. If you want to support me, but you don't want it to be easy or simple, you go to USA Gundam Store. You can buy a gift card there. They will send you an email with that gift card code. Then you will send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM, like a private message on Blue Sky or Twitter or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. And then again, it'll jump the queue, become the next thing that I build. And sorry, just checking a message there. Oh, Beifu retweeted. That's very nice. That's nice. Or sorry, reskeeted. Beifu reskeeted over there. Let's see. All right. Yeah. Those are all the ways to support me that cost money. I talked about a bunch of money stuff. If you just want to hang out in my Discord, hey, here's the invite to my Discord. You can hang out there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. The Discord is nice. Sometimes they just put links in there of things they think myself and other like-minded folks might enjoy, or things that I have already decided I was going to talk about on stream, and they're like, hey, here's this thing again. A couple of video links for you to check out. This week's episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club went up. And on this week, I am talking about some recommendations for this current anime season. Some winter 2025 recommendations. I got 4 anime. They are of a different variety. 2 of those anime I'm talking about tonight. So, you know, you want to watch that video if you want to get some recommendations about different kinds of anime that I all like. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. And this week, this month anyway, I am recommending some romantic anime. Generally romantic comedies, but sometimes they are dramas, some romantic dramedies. But I am talking about Toradora. I'm just kicking the month off with Toradora, which is a phenomenal series that is very funny and silly, but also touching. It does not feel the need to hold back on the drama, but it is a simple, easy premise of 2 people are trying to wingman or wing person each other in getting with the person they like, and in the process discover a bunch of things about each other and themselves. And it is a very cute and fun story where a guy with resting bastard face meets a girl that is violent for seemingly no reason, but there is a reason. And what happens when the dragon meets the tiger? Basically, it is a lovely series. You should check out Toradora, and you should watch me talk about it in under a minute in that video, please, because I did not get a lot of views on that. Let me check the old thing here. Sometimes the views are good. Sometimes the number's good. Sometimes the number's not good, and that's a shame. I like when number go up and when number good. Yeah, 35 views in a day. Or no, sorry, that's 35 views. That's Anime Club. That's actually pretty okay for that. Yeah, 30 views for Toradora in a day. Not great. Better than Dan. I don't know why Dan nobody watched, but like 500 views for Demon Lord 2099, which feels like bonkers to compare the number of views for those 2. But whatever. I don't know. I have no idea how shorts work. You know, here's the funny thing. So few people talk about what their views are like on that. I don't know if 500 views on a short is good in a week is good or not. Like, literally, I don't know. I know that like 13 or 30 is not good. But I don't know if 500 views on a short in a week's time is good. I don't know that. Like, I can't tell you if that's good or not. I can tell you that, like, if I got that on my regular videos that are 20 minutes long, and I got 500 views, I'd be psyched because I don't get that on my anime or wrestling content. I get that on my like how to run CPU versus CPU matches in WWE 2K24, which is getting a lot of hits right now because 2K24 is currently 75% off on Steam. So a bunch of people are buying it cheap, and they're finding my video, which is great because I make a little bit of money on that video when people watch it because I run ads before the video starts. So I get a little bit of money. Ads you can skip after a few seconds, but I get some money for that. So that's good. It's good money. Anyway, I'm going to talk about some anime because I've been watching some anime. I also need to drink some water because I really should have been drinking way more today because I did go for I did a lot of exercising, so I should probably drink some water, but I didn't. So I'm going to talk about 2 anime episodes, and then I am going to continue working on this model kit, finish up a leg, and then start the other leg. Oops. I don't know why I hit that button by mistake. I hit that button by mistake. I meant to hit the dramatic button. We're going to dramatically transition the overhead camera right now. All right, back at it. Working on this leg. We got a bendy little pipe thing to put on the leg, and then we'll be able to continue. But let's talk about Sorairo Utility. I have learned how to say the name of this fucking anime. Sorairo Utility is how I'm supposed to pronounce Sorairo Utility. Will I remember that after today? Hopefully. I will be able to say Sorairo Utility. If you're not watching, Sorairo Utility is a great sports anime, which is not usually my jam, but it's a sports anime about a girl finding out she kind of likes the idea of golf and making friends with someone who clearly was a pro golfer as a child, like as a junior, and somebody that likes golf but also really likes making social media stuff about golf. That's more of her thing, and their budding friendship. The previous episode, she found a golf club she really wanted. She couldn't afford to get that golf club, or she thought even with a discount she shouldn't get it. Then she decided she was going to do it, but then the discount wasn't available, and she had a weird little challenge against the employees of the golf supply store. It was a fun episode, but Minami, our main character, is currently, she's got her new golf club, and she's loving that shit. Okay, so why isn't this not connecting? Sorry. I'm gonna pop this into this one here on the top. Yeah, it goes like that. And this bottom one should go in first. And I'm gonna pop this out because I want to see if I can pop this in like this and then put it on, and that might help. Okay, so that's popped in. We'll just do it like that. I think this is actually easier, and maybe we should have done it this way the entire time. Maybe they should have told me to do it this way. All right, and that goes like that, and then this needs to bend and then pop in there. Great. That wasn't too hard. It was harder than it should have been, but we did it. Hooray. Next time I know to do that before I put this piece on the other leg. But we've completed a leg, so we can move on to other leg and do all to other parts of this other leg. Over here, let's get, we'll do what we just did, only the other way. Minami's got her expensive golf club, which she got a good deal on. And she, of course, is just like, this is my Excalibur. This is going to make the whole difference. She's cocky. You know, she's new in the sport, and she's just kind of like exaggerating and kind of vibing about how good things are going to be now that she's got this beautiful, expensive club. It did not go. Beginner's luck is starting to wear off for Minami, and she is very surprised about that, but it's understandable. Haruka, who is we think as an audience member, probably a former child prodigy who's now just a golf enthusiast. She's like, there's a lot more to golf, so we get some philosophy in there. We also get some like moments of like, wait, is this flirting? Hey, is this flirting? Are these characters flirting, or are you just trying? Are we doing some baiting here? Are we being baited, or is this flirting? Do you even know anime? Do you know? But we do get to see proper technique coming from Haruka, which is cool and fun. But yeah, as she's like trying to instruct, there is a bit of seemingly flirtation going here. Let's see. Because Minami wants to catch up. She wants to be as good as her friends. But we got to see like a little role model kind of thing, and like again, it's probably just some goddamn annoying or like really annoying bait, but you know, and played for quote unquote laughs, but it was something for the shippers to get excited about. Let's see. Of course, reminder, I had kind of forgotten this, so I appreciate the anime reminding me. Minami is a high school student. She's got midterms coming up, so she's got and so we have a montage of her like doing her best, question mark, like maybe doing okay, maybe not doing okay. We're not really sure how things go with that. We'll find out later. Kind of winging it. More of her trying to improve her swing and not knowing how to do that. So the solution is that is come up with is, well, you should just get stronger, and so it's weight training, which Minami is not psyched about, because why would she be psyched about that kind of hard work? And there is another played for laughs moment where Minami touches Haruka's stomach to get an example of what a good stomach feels like, and that was very like, all right, anime, calm down, turn down a little bit, anime. So yeah, we got fit belly. That's fun. Ayaka, who we have not seen in this episode yet, shows up. Let's see. So Ayaka, who is very much about how people present themselves and fashion and all that, definitely does not want Minami to become like muscular. Would definitely prefer that doesn't happen. So we get the point of view, and she's a little bit more into like yoga stuff and that kind of thing to build strength. And that does also lead to her to another stomach touch, because this anime is just like, I don't know, we think this is pretty great, so we're gonna do this joke again. Is it a joke? We don't know. And it's like, oh, okay, anime. All right, anime. Okay. Again, it's like, sure. You know what? Sure, anime. We'll just do this and see what's up. Let's see. So this is gonna go on this piece here. I'm going to wait and panel line this whole thing together because I did it in sections before, and I don't think that was necessary. I don't feel like I needed to do that, so I'm not going to do that this time around. We are making good progress in this. Anyway, let's see. We did also have a sauna trip, because of course we did. Because this episode, you may have guessed from my description, was a little fucking horny. Which is okay. We had an endurance challenge there. And then Minami is basically just like, I am just going to kind of go, yes, Lord Crafton did. Minami kind of decides, I think I'm just going to try to like somewhere in the middle of both of your philosophies is where I want to be. Oops. And that means that it's time for us to hit the golf course again, which will be the next episode. We'll go on the golf course. So basically, she's just going to try a bunch of stuff and figure it out on her own. So was this the fan service episode? Kind of. Sorry, I dropped a Where is it? There it is. Let me get this. I was able to reach it without having to stretch, but yeah, I dropped a sprue, and now I picked up that sprue. But anyway, this episode was real horny, and it wasn't like I'm sure there's some people who saw it and were like, that was too fucking much. Why is this show ruining it? Why are they ruining everything? That was like way too much, Pat. And to me, it wasn't. I mean, it was horny, but it didn't feel like out of place in it. We'll see. But it definitely was the horniest episode of that show so far. By far, it was the horniest episode of Sorairo Utility. One day I'll get that. I'll actually say that name correctly, but I believe I'm saying it right now. So, all right, and E2, 825, and G1. G1 3 is going to be this piece here. All right, now I'm trying to get caught up on, because I wasn't watching this weekly, and then you may remember that in January I really didn't talk too much about anime because the jigsaw puzzle, like there was so much to say about the jigsaw puzzle, and it was way more active than this has been, than my normal streams of me like really hunched down and hunched over and really focused. So I didn't talk as much about anime as I normally do. So I'm now getting caught up in ZENSHU. ZENSHU, if you have not been watching or you haven't been listening to me talk about it, is an anime about a girl, a young woman who is an animator who is trying to get inspiration for her second project, and she gets poisoned and seemingly gets summoned into an anime. Not an anime she worked on, but an anime she remembered loving as a kid that is not good. But she doesn't remember it very well. And she is trying to figure out how to survive in it, how to save the people, how to save the world that she's in, because it has a really sad ending. And then also, she does have abilities that she has no full control over, but she can create things. Now, it's been clear that she has inspirations from things that she loved. In the previous episode, episode 3, she did create a wrestler that was definitely Tiger Mask, who is a manga character, an anime character that is also a licensed wrestler, a real wrestler, a real professional wrestler anyway. So that was very clear that was that. This episode had a character that was not like a direct lift. It was in my opinion, like an amalgamation of a bunch of different inspirations, but we'll get to that. Lasper says, I really only recently learned this show was an isekai. Yeah, so Mappa did a bit of a bait and switch. Not a full bait and switch, but a bit of one. Basically, they said this is a show about a girl that had success with her first anime project. Her second project is not going well. She doesn't really trust the people that she's working with. And they were setting it up like a romantic comedy. Like, this girl is supposed to be working on this project, but she's never been in love. How could she direct and be the head animator for a project about a romance project if she's never experienced it? And the question would be, my follow-up would be, which was at the time, well, why did you agree to do this project? But whatever. Anyway, it turns out that is the premise, but it's also an isekai where she gets sent to an anime she remembers loving as a kid, and then she has to deal with all of the things about that, and also falling in love, and not even falling in love, but eventually falling in love maybe will happen. But now she's trapped in an anime she remembers and has to deal with that. So her creation defeated a void, which is the name, again, because she is trapped in an anime that is reported that is like bad. Not that this anime is bad, but the anime she's trapped in was ill received. All of the names of characters in there can be bad because it is based on it is based on a bad anime, with the anime within the anime. So the evil are known as voids, and a void that looked like a praying mantis was got into this place to destroy the soul futures, the made up name of these things that they got to protect. Anyway, these people have to protect. And our girl, of course, Natsuko, she knows the plot of it, right? Things have deviated from the plot. Like this attack that happened here happened way sooner than it was supposed to. But she at least knows, wait a minute, that the elf, Menem, was involved. Now, she doesn't know why, because they never get into it, because Menem has a tragic death. But it's supposed to have a tragic death. But we nobody knew why they never got a good character reason for why she was doing that in the anime. But so she's following her to find the mages that turned the mantis into a human so it could sneak in and figure out what's going on there. Because again, she has some idea of why this is happening, but not like a full blown explanation. So she would like that. Some of the other people follow her. We find out that in the original storyline, the Ultimate Void that showed up because Luke saw through the disguise and destroyed it, revealing that the Ultimate Void was actually the elf, Melon. So Luke shows up in here to find out what happens with the secret. And all these elves are in there and they're doing a ritual. That's the choir we saw in the previous episode that she was checking out. That turns out to be all of these folks. So we're getting confronted with that. Natsuko warns Luke not to tell anyone. They argue about how to solve the problem because this is obviously a fucking problem that is coming up, and they argue about the solution for that. And so they confront her the next day, and she says that elves, unless they are killed, live forever. They are immortal. And the elves are fucking tired of it. So they want the voids to destroy the world so they can die, basically, which sucks. And Luke is really hurt about this. And then Natsuko's just like, hey, that's fucking stupid. If you want to die, that's one thing. But why are you hurting other people because you're so sad? Like, come on. So Mel leaves. She's thinking about it. Luke disguises himself so he can interrupt the ceremony. Melman transforms in the Ultimate Void, which is when Luke is supposed to kill her. But Natsuko's ability turns on, which she doesn't have any control over, really. And so she can solve this problem, which is apparently also Melon doesn't want to destroy people. She has taken Natsuko's word to heart. So she evolves back from the void, which is a good little scene. Both those scenes are animated really well. But also, congratulations, because Luke is like, oh, cool. It's the Ultimate Void is here. It's not the Ultimate Void. It's the character that Ultimate Exister. Ultimate Exister has a song about being named Ultimate Exister. It is also translated as Sir Exister, but is Ultimate Exister. He is from the Ultimen, which is a fake anime again. Now this character has no direct is not directly like from another anime. This is not a Natsuko reference like earlier. This is an idol, and they got like one of the Death Note voice actors who's also been an idol formerly before he just settled into voice acting. He sings his own song. It's a good little song, a song and dance. He does an idol performance. It's basically a pretty boy from like a magical boy show, like a fictional magical boy show. He dances, he does some flowers, and he disappears. And much like the girl that wanted an orphanage and drew strength from the cat man, the cat wrestler in the previous episode. All of these elves, including our main elf, are just like, that guy ruled. And I don't mind living if it means that I can stand that guy. And they even find the drawing that Natsuko does before she passes out. She hands the drawing to Melaman, who is just like, well, we're a cult that thinks this guy is great. Now, is that a knock on idol culture? Is that a total knock on idol culture, that a cult went from wanting to die to suddenly giving their all for their idol and their dream because he's a handsome man that sings and dances? I think that's some fucking commentary. I don't think it's wrong commentary. Again, most of the commentary in ZENSHU I think is spot on. It's just a little bad that that Mappa is the one doing it, making commentary on anime when they have very obvious issues with their workload and how they treat their employees and all of that. I think it's one of those things where it's like, okay, but I think it's still spot on fucking commentary. So that's the end of the episode. There's a mysterious bird watching Luca and Unio, and we'll find out more about that bird in the next episode. But yeah, we got a cliffhanger with a bird. I will say, a friend of mine, to transition into other conversations when done with this episode, a friend of mine is really into, and it has been loving the fact that I am more aware about VTubers, that I know about HoloLive VTubers, because now my friend has someone to talk to about HoloLive VTubers. They live in Los Angeles. They are going to see Mori Calliope perform live, Mori's live concert. And again, that is a VTuber concert with a hologram projector thing in a venue. It sounds like it'll be neat, but they're very excited about that. But they've been talking about how tariffs are coming in for HoloLive merchandise that was purchased in America, but obviously is being shipped from China. Tariffs are being added to that. And that seems to be on the part of HoloLive expecting to make less profit on merchandise coming into the United States. So they are charging tariffs on it. Seems to be what's happening. And so my friend was just like, yeah, a couple friends of mine are freaking out because they definitely won't be able to afford the merchandise they've already paid for, and it will just be lost in shipping until they can, get the money together. And I was like, oofda. I like some HoloLive people, and I watch their streams. I have not subscribed to anyone. I am not a member. I'm subscribing to the channels, but I have not joined a membership for anyone yet. I might do that, but I don't know if a monthly thing like that makes any sense for me to do. I certainly have not purchased any merchandise. I don't think I need to. The limited time nature on it, the consistency of it, the ever-changing elements to it, none of that appeals to me. Anyway, for that, look, if someone I knew was like, Pat, I have a double XL Gura Dodgers shirt, would you want to buy that? I would consider it. I would consider that. I think even Pekara. I think the Dodgers gear, the Dodgers HoloLive collab stuff is pretty cool looking, and so maybe I can get into that. Lastbrook says, I haven't bought a lot of HoloLive stuff, but I'm pretty sure it always comes from Japan. So Lastbrook, supposedly anyway, Japanese goods are not part of these tariffs, but HoloLive people that have bought stuff from HoloLive are seeing tariffs. So it is stuff that they bought in the United States that is coming to the United States from China, seemingly. Again, I have not verified this. That seems to be what's happening right now. There seems to be some freak out there. Again, I I am not an expert in this, but that appears to be what's going on in this particular incident. So we'll see. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. Again, I can't verify that. That just seems to be some scuttlebutt from people who are way more into HoloLive than I'm into HoloLive. But there seems to be some stuff. Now, it could be that it is stuff coming from Japan, and there are no terrorists involved, and HoloLive is just assuming that they are going to make less money, so they are adding in they're changing the prices on some things. That could be, or it could be isolated incidents and things are off, and I'm wrong on this. I don't know, but I will say, have not bought anything from HoloLive. Don't necessarily see myself doing it. I think I am more likely to hear about what a members only thing is for a VTuber that I like, a HoloMem that I like, and going, you know what? Oh, they're doing a book club. Oh, they're doing a watch along series. That might be interesting. Maybe I'll do that for a month. Like that's a thing that I think maybe I would be more likely to be into. I know that Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame was doing some Doctor Who watch-alongs, and I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. But there's a few other things, and I was like, oh yeah, I might want in on that. I might want to see what my queen is doing there. I should actually see. Oh, that's right. She said that her schedule this week is not great, as I remember her saying that. So that's right. She doesn't have her schedule this week because things were weird, which is fine. Totally fine. A lot of HoloLive people right now are doing Minecraft. They opened up a new Minecraft server, and watching people play Minecraft is not a thing I'm super into. I just don't. I don't. No disrespect to my friends that do that and are into it, but I'm just not super into Minecraft, and I'm not super into watching people play Minecraft, even if they are nice people and doing good work. It's just not my thing. It's not something I'm looking for. We finished the legs, folks. We got some time. Now is the part of the stream where I do want to hear from you. I want to know, what are you up to? What are you into? What are you working on right now? You got anything you're excited about? You got anything you're playing or watching? If you were here on Tuesday, thank you very much for watching my Tuesday stream where I played Spirit Swap, which is goddamn fucking lovely. If you don't want to play a story for a match 3 game and you just want to do the endless mode or the versus mode, it's got that. You can do that. You can pick it up, no problem. Play a little bit of story mode to get a good tutorial and then just go for it. But if you do want some story, it's got a great story. We didn't even get, on Tuesday, we didn't even get to the part where you can start romancing some of the characters. There's a fucking romance thing going here, and we didn't even get there. I don't know who I would romance in that. Maybe. But, 2 of them just got out of a relationship. That doesn't feel like me. That's not my vibe. I don't know. I don't know if I would romance any of those characters, but the possibility could be there. I could do it if I wanted to. I highly recommend Spirit Swap if you like match 3 games. The music is fucking great. Oh, you know what? The girl the scientist girl who hangs out at the internet cafe all the time, she stood out to me. She's great. I guess if I was going to romance a character, I would end up romancing that character because she's pretty great. But anyway, I highly recommend Spirit Swap. I think I will stream that again. Probably not for a while, but I will definitely do another stream of that game because I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time with that quite a bit. So I would say that was a quality experience. So I will check that out again. Other than that, hey, you know what I played yesterday? Yesterday afternoon, I was in my group chat on my Discord, the Discord I'm in with my friends, my multiplayer crew. And people were trying to schedule some stuff for this weekend. We're going to do some Helldivers 2 because people have been missing some Helldivers 2. So we're gonna get back in that. There will be more games of Marvel Rivals, I'm sure, because that's everyone's kind of main game. But a couple people were like, "Hey, should we play some multiverses while we can?" And so we played some multiverses. And that game is still pretty fucking fun. It ain't my favorite game. I still like it. I had a good time with some multiverses. It was fun to play it with people while we can. And, you know, it wasn't like we didn't have a huge crew, which you don't need for that. So we were just like, we had enough people that were kind of interested. And I was like, yeah, I got some time. I had some time yesterday afternoon to kind of jump in and play a little bit. And I enjoyed my time with it. It was nice to play with friends and have a little bit of a good sesh. So I got a session. And then I'm playing Hearthstone. Still enjoying Hearthstone. I don't love any of the new decks I have made to play stuff with the Zerg and Protoss and Terrans. My Terran Warrior deck isn't bad. My Protoss deck I don't like. And my Zerg deck I think is a good deck. But it's not. I think it for what the deck is trying to do, which is play a 3-cost minion that is a 3/2 death rattle, give +1/+1 to any Zerg in the game at any point in your hand, in your deck, or future on the board. Just do +1/+1 to all of those. And then you have ways to just have that death rattle repeat itself and also go off multiple times. And then you constantly build a big board that your opponent can't fucking deal with. I like that deck in the fact that I think it's good. I don't like in that deck in that, it turns out I don't like playing that style of deck. I don't like zoo decks. I don't like hand buff and table buff zoo style decks. It's just not my favorite. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. That's kind of where I've come down on that particular style of deck. But I'm still playing them because there's some rewards for playing those kinds of decks right now. But I'm still enjoying Hearthstone. It is my daily driver. My daily driver games are Hearthstone at lunch. I play some Hearthstone while I'm having my lunch. I take a long lunch, do that. Sometimes I play besides lunch, but I almost always play Hearthstone at lunch. Beyond that, and I'm giving you all a chance to write some stuff into chat about what you're working on or what you plan, you know, what you got going on, because I do want to hear from you about that stuff. So I'm giving you as much time as I can about that kind of thing and thing. So Hearthstone every day. And then when I exercise, either on my bike or when I'm walking, I pull up Pokemon Go, generally for my walking, but also walking around the house, catch some Pokemon, hatch some eggs, get some new eggs, and do all that stuff. And then also I make sure that I am checking in a couple times a day with Pokemon trading card game, the TCG Pokemon game. Pokemon Pocket TCG, I should say. I check in with that a couple times a day, open packs. I'm just collecting cards. I don't play the game or that version of the game. I'm just collecting cards. I have not put any money into that. I am enjoying my time, not putting a single fucking penny into that game, and I'm still having a good time with it. So I'm doing that, a bunch of that. And then I think that's about it for video games right now. So does this go? The illustrations here are a little rough about how this is supposed to go. I believe it goes like this. yeah, as far as new games go, I have a couple of things that I'm checking out. I played a little bit of a game that is up for grabs of I might play on next Tuesday. So I played a little bit of that just to kind of get a handle on how that looks and how that's going to go. Okay, so that goes like that. And then the other one goes on the other side. So that is A22 and H8. Okay, so H8 and A22. Last week says I got the last part in you need for your NAS server that you've been meaning to build for months, but my dumbass forgot SATA cables. Damn it. Been there where you just missed something you need. Looking forward to the Monster Hunter beta. Hell yeah. But I am going to have to do it on a console as I can't get the benchmark to complete on my PC. Oh, that sucks. Well, console Monster Hunter still should be good. Dirty says, still working my way through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Downloaded the Wilds beta to check it over this weekend and assembled my new headboard. Nice. Yeah, as far as this weekend goes, I'm going to watch a bunch of wrestling. I got wrestling tomorrow night to watch. Stream on Saturday, of course. Trying out the slow cooker. I talked about at the beginning of the stream, working on my a slow cooking dish tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And Saturday, I'm going to stream again, and I'm going to complete this build. I'm fairly confident that we will finish the waist and then sides, and then put this together, and then build the shield, apply the stickers, and then apply the water slide decals to our finished completed kit. And I think that by the end of Saturday's stream, we will finish this whole damn thing. I can't say for certain, but I think then. So tomorrow I will put out a poll for my $10 patrons about what I should work on next. I do have something coming in the mail next week that theoretically I could add to that list, but I have enough stuff on there that I don't need to worry about that. But I do have a very cool looking kit that was being mailed from Japan and is finally coming. It's finally close to being here. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, Lord Crash says, I finished up this Hatsune Miku event in Rocket League in spite of my bad luck leading to a number of losses in a row. Fucking bummer. But I'm glad you pulled it off. Congratulations to you on completing that, Lord Crashington. I'm sure Hatsune Miku is also very proud of you. Thank you all so much for being here. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here on the old Build with Bear, as we go and see somebody doing some cool stuff out there that we want to go spend some time with, because just because I'm done streaming doesn't mean the party is over. Who should we raid tonight? Let me see who is streaming. Who's streaming here? And how long have they been streaming? And what should we go and raid there? Let's see. Hey, how long have they been going? I wish that the list of for you, where it says everybody who's streaming, told me how long they've been streaming, so I don't have to click through. They're probably wrapping up. Hey, Arthur Geese is playing Doom 64. So we're going to go raid Arthur, because what the fuck, Arthur? What do you mean you're playing Doom 64? Arthur's playing Doom 64, and I want to see what the fuck's going on with that. So let's go raid Arthur. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope you can come back on Saturday as I complete this fucking gorgeous kit. Maybe Monday, but I think we're going to finish it on Saturday. But I hope you have a great rest of your night. Come along on this raid. Come back on Saturday. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.